Okay, this video is about how I installed this filter on a wall in a bathroom. It's a redneck installation, and I won't get into how I put the water filter together. I won't get into that very much. There's lots of YouTube videos on that to do a real good job. I'll give a few tips on how to assemble it. On this video, I show you where we install the water filter in the bathroom on a plywood wall. So it's not going to go underneath the sink. This plywood is 30 inches high by 40 inches long. It will sit on the counter here, the bathroom counter. We have a dual sink here, so this is perfect for that. The dimensions are 10 inches for this support bracket by 14 inches high. As you can see, it just can pull right out, and that's what the back looks like. Put screws in. Very, very sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. 1/2-inch plywood. Wood screws from the back of the plywood into the 2x4, and the 2x4 ends over here on this leg. So the left leg is resting on the tile, and I'm not going to get into drilling holes in tile, and if you're a renter you don't want to do that. You crack the tile and so forth. So there's a situation we have a little kid that could pull that leg out, and the only screw on the whole device that I've used to attach to the house is this one. Okay, up in the left hand corner of the plywood sheet, right next to the shower, was a stud inside the wall, so we were able to put this one screw in here to help hold it. And this white is vinyl, waterproof vinyl molding that you get at Home Depot in 8-foot lengths for less than $3, and it protects the water from getting into the into the plywood. That's the filtered water. Okay, here we have the diverter valve with the handle. When you push this down, the water comes out here. Push it up like this, and then that supplies the red tubing for the filter water. The fitting here can be tricky sometimes. Many times people are lucky and it just fits, but sometimes they have to have adapters to the correct threads. The instruction manual highly recommends that each of these 3 cylinders be supported underneath so that the weight of the cylinder is not hanging on its threads here. If the weight is hanging on the threads, then the instruction manual says it can deteriorate the seal here after a while. Here's a good example of the middle. See, the middle filter is hanging in the air. See the air space underneath there? See, that's what I'm talking about when I say it's hanging from the air. See, the right one is seated, is sitting on the board, the 2x4, and the left one is sitting on the board, but the middle one is hanging from the air. And this is what they want to avoid. So I'm going to have to put a little shim in there. Push it in, and that's going to take the weight off the threads above. So now it's not hanging from the threads. The weight is going directly down and being taken by this 2x4. Okay? This 2x4 here is not attached to the frame, so I can pull this out when I want to service the filters and then put it right back. Most of the time it's pushed right in like this. Here's the mounting screw on the left hand side. Notice how there's a space above the screw. See, a space above the mounting screw. So this frame is not hanging on that screw. The weight can be transferred directly down to the 2x4 on the bottom. So the weight goes directly down to here and then it doesn't pull on these threads. So here it is all hooked up. The red hose is the supply line coming from that faucet diverter valve. The black hose is the wastewater. The blue hose is the finished water. And the yellow hose goes down to the storage tank on the floor. Since the sink is rounded, I have this plastic cutting board, an old cutting board that I put in here to hold the bottles for filling. And here we have electrical straps that I'm using to hold the water lines in place. You can get these at Home Depot for about less than $2 per package of 6 or 12. There's a tube cutting device. Highly recommend it. It makes a nice clean cut. This is what you need on these. These are only about $5, $6. They recommend that you make a black line 5/8 of an inch in on the hose, so that when you're inserting them into these fittings, that they go in a total of 5/8 of an inch in on each one of these. These go in kind of hard, so you need to know that you're really in totally. And so you need to mark these. Each one of these mark 5/8 of an inch to get it really in. Make sure that you've got it seated really well. Okay, this video is about how I installed this filter on a wall in a bathroom. It's a redneck installation, and I won't get into how I put the water filter together. I won't get into that very much. There's lots of YouTube videos on that to do a real good job. I'll give a few tips on how to assemble it. On this video, I show you where we install the water filter in the bathroom on a plywood wall. So it's not going to go underneath the sink. This plywood is 30 inches high by 40 inches long. It will